I'm running on a very progressive platform of Medicare for all, raising the minimum wage, free community college and vocational opportunities, standing up for the environment and stopping these pipelines.
Those were just a few of the key issues Jennifer Lewis shared with Lexington Democrats at their headquarters. The Lexington Democrats recently hosted a listening session with 6th District Congressional candidate Jennifer Lewis. Wakil Imadu told Lewis it's not only what people hear politicians say, but it's also what people see politicians doing. He gave an example of building a house.
But if you don't hear from me that I plan to get the wood on Monday, I plan to get the equipment on Tuesday, and the laborers on Wednesday, then I'm just hearing you say we're going to build a house, but I'm not really seeing how. Even if that might not be something you want to kind of put all out on your different platforms, that might just be a talking point that you're speaking to when people can hear. But it just makes it a little bit easier to understand, because if I were to tell you that I'm going to build a house, and then you hear me speak about, yeah, what are those things that you put up there on the side? I'm going to get one of those too. And those wood thingies, it's not going to translate at, oh, this person can build a house. Right. So I think that would help out a lot. And then we can hold you accountable to it. If you were to spell out how this is what we need to do, and here's how I would do it. First step, I'm going to do this. Second step, I'm going to see this policy through. Third step, I'm going to meet with this person on this day, and keep that going. I think that.
Lewis responded by explaining changing laws and policies is a group effort, and citizens elect who's in the group.
We've got to continue to support progressive candidates who think like me and think like us all across the country. If I go there alone and say, as a new congressperson going up against all these men, typically white men who have been there for 40 years, I'm going to have a hard time, even if I'm fighting tooth and nail for the things that we're talking about today. It can't be just me. We need to be supporting people that are running in all of the districts, in all over the country.
According to Lewis, social, civic, and political engagement have an invested interest in our government.
A lot of it is going to be Rise, Indivisible, the Democratic committees, keeping up that pressure and keeping up the organization that we're building.
Lewis says those organizations can make a difference in the outcome in creating or abolishing legislation.
We the people, we do have the power, but for so long we've been outvoiced or overruled by money, that we have become kind of like, well, that's just the way that it is, there's no changing it, and I'll go vote, but that's my political involvement. We need everybody to be doing everything they can to change the whole system.
The founders of Rise, Chanda McGuffin and Sharon Fitz, attended Lewis's listening session.
Our black community has got to be held accountable. This is not the time to duck and dive and hide. This is the time to hold people accountable and yourselves accountable for making change. We can't keep on saying we want change, but we don't want to do the work to change it.
Fitz says the apathy among black people stems from not being educated about who they are and the numerous accomplishments of black Americans.
Our children from those books, because yes, everyone's getting the same education, but children of color are learning that they are inferior, while the other kids are learning that they are superior. There's a difference in that, and the way you feel about coming through the whole system. By the time you get out, you just don't care.
Maria Quinlan is a Lexington NAACP member. She told Lewis the black community in Lexington is dwindling down.
The African American community is shrinking. Our churches, we have no children anymore. Young people are not coming here. The young people that are here, that grew up here, they leave. My 2 sons gone. And there's no jobs. Jobs you can find in the service departments as cooks, waiters, maintenance or whatever. And many of those things aren't attractive to these young people.
One of the most heartbreaking stories shared at Lewis's listening session was from Michael Hunt.
This happened to me. I was about 17 and I went to Georgia, and the police pulled me and my cousins over in the car. Well, we all got out and went in the car, and a young cop got out and put his gun up beside my head and shot it. Shot the gun. made me wet my pants right there
Oh
on the
my
spot.
God.
Because I thought they gonna shot me. But, I mean, I lived through it and I know it. And I haven't even told nobody back here. I never told nobody that, but that happened to me. And I said, I hadn't done nothing for that guy to do that. Nothing.
You were black.
We just, you
Just
know
because
that.
you're black.
And in Washington, years later, I came from Baltimore over to Washington. As soon as I got in my car, they pulled me out and made me put my hands up against the car because they said I looked like somebody that had robbed the place. But by the time he got me in his car, they had called him and told him that they had the guy. So he let me go.
By the
I
grace.
got back in my car, yeah, and I'm going
But they put you in the back of the police car?
Here's
no,
the thing.
out beside my
Okay,
car.
okay.
And the other time I was out beside my car when they walked up from behind me. It was like about 4 policemen there. So the young one got out. Because I know from working with juveniles and stuff, a whole lot of them are just scared of the black male.
McGuffin encouraged the group and made it clear the black vote will be respected among Virginia's politicians.
The change is coming, the tide is coming, it's going to change. We have to get elected officials on every level that identify with what our needs are. And they understand, if you're willing to listen, I can vote for you. If you're not willing to listen, if you're not willing to show up to the table, I no longer have time for you.
I got a chance to speak with some of the attendees after the listening session.
I think it's important to hear from everyone that's running for office, just because everyone's community is not the same, and there's going to be different thoughts and opinions, and I just wanted to hear it. I just wanted to hear what she had to say. I thought it was pretty good that she reached out to the community, and I also wanted to hear what folks in the community had to say as well.
Sharon Burgess is a Lexington NAACP member.
Jennifer comes across as genuine, and I think because she's genuine, the people that came to the listening session opened up and talked to her. They weren't holding back. They talked about their complaints. They talked about their issues. They gave her food for thought. You know, what needs to be done? How are you going to do it? If you get in, are you going to keep your word? Can we depend on you? The main thing I got out of the whole listening session was the lack of trust. And that trust has been destroyed and trust needs to be rebuilt. And after the session, the impression that I got was, okay, they're going to give her a chance.
Maria Quinlan says she had no idea about Lewis's background.
I didn't know that she came from a background that she grew up poor, you know, and she worked her way up, you know, and now she is going into Congress. I want to see that in our community, and I know that, you know, Jennifer is Caucasian, but it doesn't. We live in a community and a society that if we make our race an issue and an excuse, you know, for anybody.
McGuffin says it was during the listening session that she learned Lewis was not accepting campaign donations from special interest groups.
I love it. I think that it's something that's lacking in Washington, integrity. It's high integrity on her part that she has taken a stand to say no money from special interest groups.
Lewis says the Lexington listening session was a success.
It was amazing. I really am encouraged that the folks who showed up, not only did they show up, but they were so willing to tell personal stories and really just lay it all out there, and really give me constructive, thoughtful criticism and feedback of things that I'm doing on my campaign or not doing that they would like to see. So it's just a perspective that I appreciate them being willing to come out and tell me about it.
In Lexington, Elaine Rackley for Breaking Through News.